All right, well, good morning, everybody. Today we are here at the Gentle Barn, and as you can tell, it is a very friendly place. But today we're going to be talking to Miss Ellie, and she is going to kind of tell us a little bit of the story of the Gentle Barn, what they do here. First of all, I want to say thank you for taking the time. This is a lovely property that you guys have. But tell us a little bit about what the Gentle Barn is. What is your mission here?
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
So the Gentle Barn, we do two things. We are a 23-year-old national organization with locations in Nashville, Tennessee, obviously, St. Louis, Missouri, and Los Angeles, California. So we're home to horses, donkeys, cows, pigs, sheep, goats, chickens, turkeys, peacocks, llamas, alpacas, and emus.
And they're all on this property?
Most of them, yeah, over
Wow.
3 locations. And we take in animals that are too old, too sick, too lame, or too scared to be adoptable. So the veterinarians, want to put them down, and the shelters want to put them down. There's really nowhere for them to go. We bring them in here, we rehabilitate them with vet care, but a whole slew of alternative methods like acupuncture, massage therapy, chiropractic, deep tissue massage therapy. We do energy healing, and a lot of supplement, and of course, lots of love. And once they're healthy and healed, if we can find a home of their own, great. And we have a big adoption program all over America and into Canada. But most of our animals, because of the condition that they come in with, need ongoing care for the rest of their lives. And so most of those animals end up taking sanctuary from us for the rest of their lives.
Oh.
And then if and when they're ready, we partner with them to heal people with the same stories of trauma and connect people to their love and magic and affection and intelligence.
I did see on your website that you have cow hug therapy. So it sounds like these animals have just as good of a life as we do, with all the different techniques that you guys have available. What specifically got you involved with it?
So there were 2 things that were going on in my childhood that kind of made me come up with this at the age of 7. One is that I felt lonely, and I was dealing with the challenges of growing up and not fitting in and not feeling good enough, all of those things that most people feel when we're young. And it was always animals that made me feel better. There was always animals in the woods, the lakes, my dog, the horses at the riding stable nearby that always mirrored back to me that I was lovable. So I knew firsthand the healing qualities that animals have. Simultaneously, I loved animals. I always saw them as my best teachers, healers, and friends. While I was surrounded by people that really didn't see them the way that I did, they kind of saw them as just things we eat and things we wear and things we can throw away when we don't want them anymore. So me seeing them so fully and completely as my greatest friends and being surrounded by people that couldn't see them that same way, by the time I was 7, I would say to anyone that would listen, I would say, when I grow up, I was going to have a big place full of animals and show the world how beautiful they are. It didn't happen that fast because I didn't have the faintest idea how or where or when to do it.
Yeah.
And then 23 years ago, I was living in a little half-acre backyard in Los Angeles, California, and I discovered a petting zoo. And the animals were being atrociously neglected and abused. And to make a very long story short, which the longer version is written in my book, My Gentle Barn,
Okay.
Creating a Sanctuary Where Animals Heal and Children Learn to Hope. But the shorter version of that story is I ended up bringing animals that were half dead from that petting zoo to my half-acre backyard, healing them with the help of a wonderful veterinarian. And a few months later, looking out my window to a backyard that was full of animals and said, holy cow, I just started my dream.
Well, and you have it here. I don't know how much you still have left that you want to accomplish here, but again, this is a very, very beautiful place. Why Middle Tennessee specifically? Why the Nashville area?
So about 8 years ago, it was approaching my birthday. It was around now, it was January. And I don't know where I got this idea from, but I told my husband that the only thing I wanted for my birthday was to rescue a cow. I didn't want a party, I didn't want gifts, I didn't even want a birthday card. My husband, being and co-founder of the Gentle Barn, we run it together, Jay, said, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, he's used to me saying things like that. So we put our feelers out. We thought we would find some local cow that needed help. And instead, Jay, co-founder of the Gentle Barn, got a call from someone living in Nashville saying that there was a cow that had lost his foot. And he was going to go to slaughter, and she had made 200 calls for people that could help him, and nobody could. And she knew that we were far away, but asked, could we at least give her advice? And Jay found a wonderful bovine surgeon at UT Knoxville and found a company, VIP Orthotics and prosthetics, to make a prosthetic foot. And to make another long story short, Dudley the cow spent 5 months at UT Knoxville, got fitted for a prosthetic, got his amputations and surgeries and healing. And then when he was about to be discharged, we thought about driving him all the way to California, but that's a rough ride.
Oh, yeah.
Also in California, we're on a desert, and all that sand going into the prosthetic, it didn't feel like a good match.
Yeah.
So we went to our board of directors and said, can we open a gentle barn in Tennessee for Dudley? And they said, yeah. And here we are.
Is he still here?
No, sadly he passed away 2 years later.
Sorry.
But the reason we exist, all the people that come in for healing, all the animals that get their lives saved, it's all in honor and memory of Dudley.
That is nice to hear. We would love to see a little bit about the farm, like see some of the different areas that you have. I know you said there are some residents here and some donors have some rooms here as well. So talk about a little bit about your donor program before we take a tour.
Yeah, so I mean, nothing that we do could be done without the help and support of our incredibly generous donors. People around the world that wish they could have their own farm sanctuary, but because of life circumstances, they can't do it on their own. And they partner with us, let us be on the front lines, do the hard work, mucking the poop and feeding the animals and taking them to the vet, and they help us afford it. And they help us save these lives and heal and open people's hearts. So we're very grateful for our donors.
And so they're able to come and stay here throughout the year, or just a couple nights, you know, how does that work?
So the Gentle Barn is open every Sunday to the public, where people can come in and hug cows, cuddle turkeys, give pigs tummy rubs, hold the chickens, play with the goats and sheep, hear their stories of resilience, and kind of learn how we're more alike than we are different. We also host private tours, school field trips, birthday parties, and like you mentioned before, the legendary cow hug therapy, where people, no matter what they're going through, they can come in and have an hour to themselves with these incredible gentle giants and find healing and hope for themselves. And if people want to come and have a more intimate, more personal, longer stay, they can come and stay at the Gentle Barn. We have guest bedrooms, and we've had many people from around the world that come and stay with us.
That is so unique. Like, I've never thought about laying down with a cow to feel better about myself. Like, just
it's extraordinary. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of reasons why cow hug therapy is effective. Number one, when we lay down on the cows, we find their heartbeat and it slows down our own. We find their rise and fall of their breathing, and we match our breathing to theirs. And it helps get us grounded and centered. It helps rid the minds of our thoughts and our endless to-do lists. And it just allows us to immerse ourselves in present time without thoughts or words, and just be with an animal and receive that unconditional love and stillness. But the real reason why I think cow hug therapy is so effective is because if you think about it, when we're infants, we're on our caregiver's chest. We can hear their heartbeat. We can feel the rise and fall of their breathing. We feel very small and vulnerable in a giant, warm, nurturing, and protective frame. And as we grow up, there's lots of animals and people that we love, but there's really nothing to mimic that exact feeling. But the closest that I've ever come to that feeling is hugging a cow, because they're giant.
Yeah.
And we feel small and vulnerable and humble, and it opens us up. And it kind of fills us with infinite possibilities, and that's where healing starts.
It is. I mean, it's just something I would have never thought of, but that's why you're running this place and not me. So
she's waiting for dinner. Hi, May. Hi. Come on, Lolly.
So is that something you guys partnered up with and was able to design for her? Or?
Yeah. So Lolly was born in the dead of winter, and she had lost her back limbs. So she was dragging, for 8 months, she just dragged herself around, and she was suffering terribly. And then finally, we had our grand opening, and one of her neighbors came to us and told us about her. So we were able to go and get Lolly and her mom, May, and give her prosthetics at first, and now a wheelchair. And then later we heard that she had a dad, so we went back and got the dad. So now the whole family gets to be together.
I know a little bit about animals and personalities, and she definitely looks like she's got a little bit of a personality.
She has a huge personality. And you know, it's funny when assessing an animal to see if they could even want to live with a prosthetic or a wheelchair. It's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
They have to be really spunky, they have to really want to live, and they have to just be stronger than anything. And that's Lolly.
She's got a little bit of an attitude.
Lolly's like, the loss of back limbs, that's not going to slow me down.
It does not look like it. So, again, it just kind of shows why you guys do this.
Well, yeah, and then she gets to work with the visitors and show them, like, it doesn't matter what our circumstances are. It doesn't matter whether we've had surgeries, whether there's a disability, whether we've gone through trauma. We can always learn to love again, to laugh again, and to live again. And that's what these animals model for us every day.
All right, well, Miss Ellie, thank you for the opportunity to come and take a tour and kind of see what you guys got going here. This is a wonderful thing that you have brought to our area, so we thank you for that. Is there anything, last minute words you want to say while we have you? I know you've got a lot of work to do, but maybe talk about a little bit more about your story, your passion, and then how people can get involved.
Yeah, I just want to thank you so much for coming out today and spending time with us and sharing us with your people. I really appreciate it.
You could probably talk all day about this, but I know you've got work to do. So,
I guess in closing, I want to say, just like any dream out there, it starts with a dream. Then the second step is to get the skills and the knowledge and the know-how to make your dream possible. And the third and most important step is then to share your dream with others so they can get involved, they can support, and the dream ultimately gets to belong to the community. And so the General Barn would be nothing if not for the generous people that come and visit, participate in loving our animals, volunteer, and donate to allow us to take care of the animals that we've already taken in and allow us to say yes to the next call that comes in for an animal that has nowhere else to go. So, people can check out our website, gentlbarn.org. They can also follow the Gentle Barn at all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And come and fall in love with these animals and see their intelligence and their affection and hug them and hold them and support us so we can be here for the animals and the people that come here for the animals looking for hope and healing.
Yes, and we can see your passion. We can see the love that you have for the animals. We can see the animals have their love for you, just the way that they gravitate towards you when you walk in. And like you mentioned, you have a dream. Most people cannot achieve their dreams on their own. They need a network of people that are involved or invested in them to follow that dream. It sounds like you've got a good backing and a good support group. So again, we wish you the best. Thank you for your time. And guys, if you're watching, we'd definitely think that you need to come out and check out the Gentle Barn. I know I'm going to be bringing my family here, have my kids laid out with some cows and get that cow hug and just see all the other animals and experience it. And you have a gift shop. I know my daughter's going to want to buy a stuffed animal if you've got one in there. So thank you guys for watching this on a Friday. We hope you will check us out next week and have a great weekend. So again, Ellie, thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's starting to get cold. 60 degrees.
Really?
Yeah.